This is the Bodhi tree, the sacred place where Siddhartha Gautama attained enlightenment and discovered the path of liberation for all beings. After 49 days of deep meditation and 7 additional weeks of meditative insight into nirvana, the Buddha resolved to set the wheel of truth in motion, a profound, mysterious, complicated to see, complex to realize, accessible only to the wise. He first thought of his 2 former meditation teachers, Alara Kalama, who taught the formless state of the sphere of nothingness, Akinkanayatana, and Uddaka Ramapada, who instructed him in the state of neither perception nor non-perception, Navasanyanasana. But both had recently passed away. The Buddha then recalled his 5 companions in ascetic practice at the forest retreat of Dungaswara, Mount of Ascetics. They were intellectuals, had a heart for practice, and would be able to awaken to the truth discovered by the Buddha. The Buddha decided to leave Bodh Gaya for Sarnath, a 250 kilometers journey, to convert 5 fellow practitioners, commonly known as Anya Kandanya group. From above, looking down on Sarnath Park, which stretches nearly 1 kilometer, with the foundations of ancient temples, are vestiges of a Buddhist holy land more than 2,600 years ago, proving that this place was once a popular Buddhist center. On the outskirts of Varanasi, in Uttar Pradesh, the ancient city of Benares awakens with vibrant energy each morning. The entrance to the spiritual area of Sarnath is bustling like any other place with Buddhist relics. The friendly Indian people welcome visitors from all over the world to come here. Sarnath, the beginning of the wheel of truth to save humanity. This is where the truth of Buddha was rolled, called turning the wheel of Dharma, the place where the bell rang to signal a brilliant dawn of wisdom. Humanity began to be saved because Buddha showed the way to escape from all suffering in this world. At the entrance to Sarnath is a metal statue depicting the meditating Buddha. Below the pedestal is a pair of golden deer symbolizing the deer park. To commemorate the Buddha, the Indian government has restored the Deer Park Eco Resort, which marks the important event of the Buddha's first preaching. Through many excavations and restorations, Indian archaeologists have revealed the desolation of the ruins and the wonders of the remaining artifacts that prove the existence of Buddha and King Asoka in the scientific consciousness. Affirming a real great man of humanity, that person is Buddha Sakyamuni. In the non-iconographic style from the 5th century BCE to the 1st century CE, the image of Buddha was represented by many symbols such as the 4-headed lion statue on a stone pillar excavated at Sarnath, which appears to be still intact and was carved during the reign of King Asoka in the 3rd century BCE. This symbol was chosen as the national emblem of India from January 26, 1950 until today. In the style of the sacred statues from the 1st century CE onward, the image of Buddha is carved in human form. The relief of Buddha turning the wheel of Dharma in Sarnath is one of the masterpieces of ancient sculpture. Below the statue of Buddha turning the wheel of Dharma are the images of the 5 great disciples. The first Sangha of the enlightened Master Sakyamuni. Chakhandi Stupa, literally meaning quadrangular stupa, is located not far from Sarnath. Chakhandi resembles a miniature pyramid, made of red bricks. The upper part of the tower is built in an octagonal cylinder that gradually tapers towards the top. The outside of the tower is decorated with rectangular niches, once filled with Buddha statues. The spiritual architecture of the 3rd and 4th centuries still retains a unique beauty today. From Bodh Gaya, Buddha Sakyamuni traveled about 250 kilometers to get here. Chakhandi Stupa was built by later generations to mark the event where Buddha Sakyamuni met his 5 fellow monks on Kandanya.
The 5 former companions of the Buddha still harbored doubts about the truth he had recently discovered. Not a word was spoken to the Buddha, yet he remained in complete silence. In that quarter encounter, the 6 of them experienced the serene presence of mindfulness together.
At first, they intended to stay away from Buddha Sakyamuni, but later, seeing that he was calm, peaceful, and serene, they invited him to sit down. Initially addressing him as a fellow ascetic, the Buddha gently asked to be called THÄNG, the one who has thus come from ultimate reality. Chakhandi Stupa is considered a tower looking towards the center of Sarnath.
Nam mô Bổn Sư Thích Ca Mâu Ni Phật. Nam mô Bổn Sư Thích Ca Mâu Ni Phật. Nam mô Bổn Sư Thích Ca Mâu Ni Phật.
Here, the DHÄNG Stupa in Sarnath, built by King Asoka in 234 BC to mark the place where Buddha Sakyamuni preached to the 5 Kondanya brothers. The Dhammacakkappavattana Sutta is the first sermon of Buddha Sakyamuni after he attained enlightenment. Buddha Sakyamuni preached this sutta to his 5 fellow monks, Kondanya, Bhattaya, Vappa, Mahanama, and Assaji. He explained the 4 noble truths and the Eightfold Path, the middle way transcending extremes.
The Noble Eightfold Path is expressed through the 3 pillars of wisdom, ethics, and meditation. This is the most important spiritual solution of the Buddha, which was expressed by King Asoka through this important stupa.
Standing tall over time, the 43.6 meters high DHÄNG Stupa has a circular structure like an 8-petaled lotus bud, with many sophisticated patterns, in the style of ancient Indian art. From this DHÄNG Stupa resounded a message from Buddha Sakyamuni. I have found the doctrine to save humanity from suffering. Contemplate the truth. Practice the truth will end suffering. In this Sarnath, from the first 5 great disciples, within a few months, Buddha also converted 60 merchants to attain arahantship. That made the Buddha's Dharma spread very quickly in the spiritual world of India at that time. Every day, pilgrims from all over the world come to Sarnath. As 2600 years ago, the words of Ananda still echo. I have heard that at one time the world-honored one was staying in the city of Varanasi, in the Deer Park, where the gods are. At that time the world-honored one called the 5 monks and said, Sarnath, located in the Isapatana region, with its many large and small stupas, is perhaps the most important Buddhist relics in India. The ancient temples still echo the voices of the past.
Approximately 30 meters from the DHÄNG Stupa lies the site identified as the Buddha's fragrant chamber. It is here that the Buddha turned the wheel of Dhamma for the first time and spent his very first vasa.
By learning the truth of Buddha, monks, nuns and Buddhists will no longer be confused about who we are and where we are going. Everyone will find the Buddha mind within themselves and firmly and devoutly follow the middle path, the Noble Eightfold Path, to gradually eliminate all suffering and reach the state of nirvana. The stupa of Buddha's relics, also known as the Dharmarajika Stupa, was built of red bricks during the reign of King Asoka Mauryan from around 304 to 232 BCE. The original shape of the stupa was similar to the Sanchi Stupa, in which the Buddha's relics were enshrined.
In 1794, Jagat Singh, as the Diwan chief minister of Raja Chet Singh of Benares, unaware of the value of the Buddha's relics, uncovered during an excavation, discarded them into the Ganges River.
Life is impermanent, nothing lasts forever. Buddha said that all things are born and die. Buddha's relics are the sacred and precious treasures that remain of Buddha. What to say about the existence of countless human beings in this world?
In the 3rd century BCE, Emperor Asoka came to Sarnath on pilgrimage and erected a stone pillar bearing his name. That pillar, known as the Asoka Pillar, was later broken into 7 fragments.
In the devastation of the past, on a section of the stone pillar, there is an inscription according to the order of King Asoka that the Sangha must not be divided. whether monk or nun. Whoever divides the Sangha must wear white clothes and live in a place where there is no Sangha. That decree of King Asoka is like a warning for monks always to keep the precepts and thoroughly practice the Noble Eightfold Path according to the teachings of the Buddha. The pilgrimage members from Vietnam or another country were almost a unified bloc when coming here. The Buddhist spiritual belief has bound them together. Meditating around the holy sites is like a way to enjoy enlightenment. The wish to visit the sacred sites one day has been the starting point for each person. It also leads to practicing the Noble Eightfold Path to bring peace to themselves and each family. THÄNG Temple, constructed from red bricks and thick stone walls, showcases intricately carved door motifs dating to the 11th century. Decorative fragments of lotus petals, lion heads, and floral designs reflect the artistic legacy of the Gupta dynasty. This temple once hosted Buddhist rituals during the Buddha's time and for many centuries thereafter. The silence is profound, echoing the presence of the Buddha, who spent his first rainy season here during his 45-year teaching life. Many of the Buddha's 84,000 discourses were delivered in this sacred space. The stillness embraces crumbled walls, open-roof monastic quarters, and the impermanence of all things.
Here we find the remnants of architectural ornamentation on the exterior of the ancient temple that marked the Buddha's first vessel retreat at Sarnath. When intact, the carvings on this temple bore intricate details that reflected the traditional iconography and aesthetic sensibilities of Indian Buddhist art.
The archaeological park of Sarnath impresses with its complex of temples, stupas, monasteries, and shrines. Viewed from above, it reveals a multi-layered site of historical sediment. Scattered across its surface are stupas, pillars, columns, capitals, and carved friezes, each bearing the aesthetic hallmark of ancient Indian artistry. Weathered by sun and rain, these remnants stir awe and sorrow. The beauty of the past evokes a poignant lament for the blind destruction of centuries past.
This Thai temple was officially inaugurated on March 16, 2011. Its central highlight is a statue of Sakyamuni Buddha in the Abhaya Mudra, standing 24 meters, tall equivalent to 80 feet. The 80 feet symbolize the Buddha's 80-year lifespan and his lifelong propagation of the Dharma.
Thousands of artifacts, statues, reliefs, manuscripts, excavated from the Deer Park are housed in the Sarnath Archaeological Museum. Built in 1910, the museum preserves the relics of the Maurya, Kushan, and Gupta dynasties. Each artifact has high historical and artistic value dating from the 3rd century BCE to the 12th century CE. They tell the vivid story of the Buddha's life and the flourishing of his teachings. Although the Buddhist heritage has lost its grandeur, architectural scale, and the functions of temples, pagodas, and towers, the ancient story of the Buddha turning the wheel of Dharma remains forever in the world. Not only creating the world in theory but also proving it by action. The Buddha Sakyamuni pointed out the bright path to save humanity. The principles of progressive and scientific Buddhism, born more than are always new. Those who first approach the wheel of Dharma are considered to be at the beginning of receiving and rolling the wheel of Dharma. It has been the same for thousands of years. Always new and always new faith. Sarnath always gives the beginning of the awakening truth that can transcend time.